Okay, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back to learn HTML. This is the third video in the series of HTML. I am using w3schools.com as a base to explain the concepts of web technologies. I have created Golang, Python, PHP, MySQL video tutorials, and if you want to watch, visit my channel and then go through. So before going through this video, I am going to explain about one opportunity for you all. I have started internship opportunity at MySys IT Services OPT Private Limited, and I am going to provide a 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year internship in many roles. These are some of the roles, and I have developed many websites and games, and also starting to develop many games, and you will be part of my development journey, and you will gain experience along that. And if you want more details, go through this. I am providing 1 month internship, 1500, 3 months 3500, and for each 3 months it is 3500, and it is a limited offer. If you want to join my team and start journey with me, you can contact me at submit@mysys.com, or you can connect me in LinkedIn, and ping me with your message. We will discuss further. Thank you, and I am now starting the video. So this is the third video. Till now we have discussed about HTML tutorial introduction, and we have tested with our browser, and we have been working on it. And now we are going to start to understand how HTML forms will work and what are the attributes, and how do we take the form attributes and form elements, and input type, and input type and input attributes and form attributes. Okay, this is very much required for a full stack developer, and you need to understand how do we send these forms from the server to the client, and from client how do we actually get input the data, and then how do we send the data to the server, and how server can process. So how server can process, we have seen that in our Python, PHP programming, and now you can actually see how this will work in a uh, in a HTML. Okay, so let us start with the content. And forms, you see, right, is used to collect user input. The user input is most often sent to the server processing, as I mentioned. Okay, so it can have uh, some static data, and some controls can be edit box, and then button, or list, or comma box. So there are many, we will discuss all those things later. So this is one form, and form will be with the form and the action, where asp dot action page dot php, and then label and input. And label label is the text, and an input is the form where we actually input the data, which will have name as a l value, which is like a variable name. Okay, where we actually get the values by referencing to the f name and l name as the variable names to get that one. And input is the button type, is the submit is the input button type, where we actually click on this particular item where action will be taken, and then a particular this entire data um, will be sent to the particular page. This is, if you are not mentioned, it is sent as a get method, and it will be the name value parameters are sent in a url name value pairs. Okay, if it is mentioned as a post, and the values are sent as a headers. That we will discuss how it will send. All those things we will actually discuss in the subsequent discussions. So form is what we discussed, form and end of the tag form, right? And the code should be within that, and the input is the element where we mention what is the type of the input. Either it is a text, is it a radio button, or is it a checkbox, or is it a submit, which is a button, and or is a button, just a clickable button. Okay, you can add a button and display submit button, right? So text fields, you can add, the text fields as, label FNM and then first name, and this is label is just like a text. Okay, and then you can also give that ID, but this input is the type is the text box, and then we are actually giving the name ID as FNM and name this one, right? ID and the name as LNAME. ID is used for identifying the in the HTML, but name is what we actually send it to the server. Okay, so this is what we have already tried. Okay, so that is about the form. And label, we discussed radio buttons. Radio buttons, what we need to give as a radio, type radio, and HTML, and then language. Let us check here. So this we have mentioned HTML, right? And then radio, CSS, and then radio, JavaScript. So this is the type, ID, JavaScript, name, value. So this is what, okay. So usually these radio buttons needs to be grouped. Okay, that we will discuss when we are developing it. So checkboxes also like this, but this also needs to be, we can check it either one of them, and then you can submit. Okay, so form and the input, checkboxes, all these are sent in, are usually checkboxes. Either you can have a either one or all. Okay, that based on the parameters we can differentiate. So that is the checkbox. Then submit button. Submit button is what we, when we click on the submit, then all the parameters are sent. Okay, and the input is received and it is displayed. Okay, so it is the way it has sent. Name input attribute we have seen, right? Okay, name, okay, attribute to be submitted. Input field name must be having the name. So this is a field name, and this is the value which is actually sent. Okay, so you have to be careful. And FNAME in the server programming in the PHP, we take value which is stored in this FNAME and we use that in our programming. Okay, so let us move. Form attributes, right? Action is the attribute, and we need to give in which page we want to call when there is a submit button. And we can have a target, either it can process within, or we can in parent or top, or it can actually go to the next page. If it is a blank, it will be displayed in the new window or tab. So method attribute specifies the type, right? Either it is a post or get. Okay, as we discussed, post will be data will be sent in the headers. If it is get, data will be sent in the name value pairs in the URL itself. So if you use autocomplete on, the form should be autocomplete on and off. When autocomplete is, the browser automatically complete values based on the values that user has entered earlier before. Okay, so if you keep it here, this will be displayed. Okay, whether we have displayed earlier, that will be. Now validate. Attribute is boolean attribute. When present, it specifies that form data should not be validated when submit. Don't validate. Form should not validate. Okay, so understand all this experiment one by one, and then get. So we have seen input, label, select, text area, button, field text, legend, data list, output, option. Okay, let us go one by one. What are the form elements? Input we have discussed, right? It is the, it has but it has a either label, it has a text or read a button. Label we discussed, which will be a static. Select element, okay. Option defines the drop down, okay, for this select drop down, okay. So use this for drop down, right? You have to use this select to display the drop down element. Any one of them will be displayed. So you can select, option is selected, so that that will be taken as the default one, okay. And then you can also mention the size of that particular, either so that you will have a, you know um, vertical scroll bar. You can also have a horizontal scroll bar. So this is the, in this you can select multiple items, right? If you want to select multiple items in the box. Text area is used to display for a larger text. Only text it will have a limited. If you use a text area, it will be a larger text. Okay, so you will have to give a name to it, and then when you submit, you have to submit that with data. You can have a height and give a proper styling for it. Button, when you click on it, you can, there must be some action, or you can also call, the particular web page, you can pass on it. Field set and legend. Okay, field set element used to group related data in form, right? So as we discussed earlier, field set, so these are in a group, okay. We can actually set field set, and then this belongs to the group. It can be kept in an id. And then data list element specifies list of predefined options for the input, okay. Data set, you use it, for the list, right? For the list, okay, where you can actually use it. I use it list in adrive.com also. You can go and check it when you are submitting, right? For example, when you are submitting a page, post ad, okay. So these are the list items, okay. And then um, you know categories also, right? City, for example, city, and then category you can select, okay. So these are the list items. And then output element represents the result of a calculation. So you can perform some calculation, and then if you want to display, you can actually display in your program, okay, right? You see, so like this you can display the corresponding value, okay, output. It is also good to understand. So that is all. The very important section. Come back and then do the experiment as much as possible. Now let us see. There are various input types: button, checkbox, color, date time, email, file, hidden, image, month, number, password, radio, range, search, submit, tell, text, okay. So let us see one by one. Text we have already seen. This is the text box we are, and the corresponding text data will go to the server. And if you mention it as a password, okay, it will not be visible when you are typing, okay. But it will actually, when you are sending in an invalid pair, If you make it as a get, then that value will be visible. So if you send it as a post, it will go as a header, but you need to encode it so that the passwords are not visible. And then submit. What we have seen, when you click on it, the corresponding button will be accessed and it will be processed. Input type reset defines the reset that will reset all the values. So if you type reset, right, for example, reset, it should reset all these values. Okay. Radio buttons, you need to group it. Type radio, when you are making it, you need to group it, otherwise it will be generic. Checkbox we discussed, I don't want to repeat it. Button we discussed. Color, so you can make it favorite color, right, based on the type, and you get RGB value. Okay, you get the color RGB value in your input type. Date, if you give it date, it will be in the date format, so you will get that calendar. Okay, and the date time local, so time zone, right, what is the time. Okay, so that is the format. So these are all built-in um, input types you can use in your program. Email, so it will be email. Okay, you cannot type just like that. Okay, it will be invalid. And image, input type image, you see here the button is image. Okay, so you can keep it the type as a submit. Input type is file, then the file, you can choose the file from it, and then you can open it. In the submit, the entire submit, you have to submit to the post. Input type is month. Okay, so that is either July, like that. Number, input type is number, so you cannot enter text. Okay, so you can add attributes: checked, disabled, max length, min, pattern. Okay, size, step value, many things. Range also you can keep it so that it will not um, min max. Okay, range you can keep it, right, it will not go beyond. Search field, you go to search and then submit search, and then telephone number, which will be based on US format. Okay, and then time, and type URL, for example. So these are all standard where you come back and then you can type the URL. URL should be of that form only, otherwise it will not allow. Type week. So these are the attributes. So come back to this and then experiment as much as possible so that you will understand. So the next topic is HTML inputs, input attributes. Till now we have seen uh, the input types. It can also have attributes. The attributes, as we see, value, name. Value is what we can make it a predefined, and then read only, you can keep it read only, for example, then you cannot touch it, right. For example, this one you cannot, cannot, when you are typing it is not accepting. So it is read only. So and then disable, if you disable it will not work, it will be disabled, you see, disabled. And then size attribute, you can set the size, increase, decrease. So you have to frame your form in such a that it is a min and max attributes. So that means min value and max value you can keep it. And then multiple, for example, the input, okay, accepts multiple, right? Two files. So you can accept, okay, multiple files if you mention multiple. Pattern attribute specifies regular expression where the input field checked against form is submitted. Placeholders attribute specifies the short hint, okay, right? Short hint. This is the placeholder. Nowadays placeholder is very extensively required. That means we are saying that that is required. The input mandatorily required. If you don't mention, it will not. This input step attribute specifies the legal number intervals in the input. Okay, step, how many increments you can add it. Autofocus. So automatically that particular field will be set in a focus. So it will set to that particular field. Height and width attributes. List attribute we all discussed. That is there in the data set. And autocomplete, we have discussed that autocomplete also, right? So for this we don't want to have the email to be autocomplete, so we have to set this off so that it will not display. Okay, autocomplete on for form, and rest we don't want. Okay, so then we can make it off. So that is all about the HTML attributes. Input form attributes. Input form attributes means the attributes which are mentioned here. It can have the ID form, it can have the action, okay, it can have label, it can have many things. Okay, so let us go back. Right, form about attributes. Method is another attribute. Okay, whether you can give a get or post method. Form get attributes, form post attributes. Okay, so form validate, you mentioned, right? You need to validate the form. Okay, so no validate means you don't have to validate. So these are set of attributes. So that is all about forms. I think I have covered most of the topics. There are advanced topics are there. If you give a comment, share, subscribe, right, and then I will give uh, advanced HTML topics in my upcoming HTML videos. Based on the need, I will come out with the videos. So this is introduction, a beginner and advanced course, and super advanced course we will create later. But for the starting of your career as a full stack developer, this will be a useful course. So again I am coming back to my channel, my site, mysys.com internship, where I am promoting the internship for upcoming developers who are in a final year, or who wanted to do the project with the real-time projects, or who are completed and who wanted to work in a real-time projects and understand full stack development of Python, PHP, or C++, game development, or artificial intelligence, or social media marketing, affiliate marketing, digital marketing. I am providing, and there is a cost involved in it. 1 month internship is 1500, 3 months is 3500, and for each 3 months it is a 3000. I will give a good experience of developing the portals and developing the games, and I will involve in projects. I will also, if you want to develop standalone applications of Java, I have many Java C++ projects which you can utilize them to migrate into Java. Okay, so there are many roles available. If you want to do internship, come back to me, contact me through submit@mysys.com, or direct message me in a LinkedIn with the EMR is my tag. Okay, so come back to me and we'll discuss further. Okay, thank you. And if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye.